And it's painful because the last one of our episodes I talked about even science is no longer objective. The fact that in the diagnostic statistic manual of 4, it said different things about gender, and the following version says, it says something completely different. So we're having scientists having different realities over different versions of the DSM, and the second one is clearly obliterating the first. The 4th version, which we believed in then, well, we're believing in wrong science. What they're telling us now, is it the reality, or is it just that now the current version just suits the narrative? As long as they have a narrative they want to sell, even science will bend to that rule.
Science follows the money.
Yeah,
and that's really the bottom line.
Same about COVID. So COVID happened, and a few people died, let's say, like in my country.
Right, and they expected COVID was going to devastate Africa, and it didn't.
All I know, they demonized different other people's alternate solutions.
Yeah.
Yet even these alternate solutions were working for us. Like now in Africa, in Uganda here, people developed concoctions that they would use during COVID, and people were well. But then the ones who went to hospital, most of them really didn't make it.
Yeah.
We may not succinctly answer your question or respond to your comment the way you want, but then you could as well have your own take on how we got here and why we got here. You can as well share in the comment section. And, sometime if you're available, we can as well record an episode with you. And that's okay with us.
Yeah, and really what Paul is saying is we don't know how we got here. I mean, I can come up with my ideas about how it's moving from postmodern thought to post-truth. But how did we get to this point? And I don't know the answer to that question. And you can't ask a woke person that, because they won't dialogue with you. They just kind of hide in their own bubble and they won't engage.
They'll say you're condescending and they have those comments where they label you and make you feel like, you're douche or something.
Yeah. All right. So we have another question, kind of another comment, Paul. This comment relates to social media, and I think we can use this as a springboard to talk about a new topic of social media. And I think where this comment is coming from is you and I had talked about how we're trying to create a platform where people like us who are looking for a place to talk and a place to express ideas can come together and share those ideas. Is it the power of social media that has collectively brought the minority together? Was it COVID due to the isolation of people which created a need to make up something to join together? Or is it just human behavior to try to be unique? So here we are, Paul, coming together on social media. Of course, we have the potential to be banned if we draw too much attention. But we're coming together because this is one of the few places we can come together, because we don't have a voice in the mainstream society. We don't have a voice among the mainstream media. We don't have a voice in our professional environments per se. And so we come together to say these things on social media because it's the only place that we can say these sort of things. So what do you think, Paul? Is it the power of social media that has collectively brought us with minority thoughts together? Or maybe we're not the minority, maybe we're the majority and we don't know it. But the ones who don't have the power, the ones who are expressing thoughts that are going against the established narratives. Is it the power of social media that has collectively brought us together? Or was it COVID due to the isolation which created a need to be part of something together? Or is it just human behavior to try to be unique? Are we just trying to be unique and just stand out? What do you think is going on here? What are we doing?
Yeah, so it's a combination of being human as well as the COVID situation and the isolation that we had during COVID. Naturally, human beings would like a sense of affiliation, a sense of belonging. We need that. We are social beings. We have a need to feel like we belong somewhere. This need becomes more augmented, especially if you are, in the minority group, because you don't meet people like you very often. And the funny thing is, people who are objective are now the minority in a way. But anyway,
that's true. If you actually think,
and
that the truth exists objectively outside of what you perceive or identify as, you're considered whatever label they want to throw on you, transphobic if you don't want to accept gender identities.
Yeah, so maybe they're not really the minority. Maybe they could be the majority, but the fact that they're intimidated out of freedom to express, then the few who can express, then they become a minority group. So social media has given the space where someone can, affiliate or belong to people who have shared experiences or shared opinions. We feel a bit of isolated, and it's easier to find people with similar interests or similar thoughts on social media, and that's why it's a place that we are running to quite easily, because we can relate with people of similar thoughts here. And as well, because of the persecution of people who are more objective out there, so social media gives you a sort of invisibility cloak, where I might create a fake account and use an avatar. I may not use my face or whatever. So I'm more confident behind behind the keyboard than facing these things organically. But me and Bob are different because we are showing our faces and all that. Right. Yeah.
So I kind of think about how social media is giving opportunities to people like us who are promoting counter-establishment narratives, which of course is a threat to the establishment when these particular platforms become too big or too influential. Like maybe for us, maybe we're not getting noticed because we're not that big yet. We just started. We've got some followers. We've got some people that are seeing it, but we're not that impactful yet. But if we get too big and we get noticed, we could potentially find ourselves being banned. But I specifically am thinking about, these things, being a threat to those in power, to the establishment. And I'm thinking about right now the attempts in the U.S. that are going on to ban TikTok. I mean, who are they to tell us what information that we should be exposed to or not exposed to? There's definitely censorship going on. And of course, they don't call it censorship. They have another term for it. It's a propaganda term called content moderation. And I recently saw an interview with Elon Musk and Don Lemon in which Elon Musk reiterated his commitment to free speech. And then Don Lemon said, well, I believe in free speech just as much as you do. And Elon Musk says, no, you don't, because you believe in content moderation. And he said to Don Lemon that content moderation is just simply a propaganda term for censorship. And of course, Don Lemon wouldn't acknowledge that.